Woo! Welcome back to another video. I'm finally back. Here I am trying to talk about Notion. This is not a sponsored video. I know Notion sponsors a lot of people, but I'm just not one of those people. Just really fell in love with Notion recently. So I really wanted to share with you guys how I use Notion because a couple of you guys have asked me before also. Beanie is my clickbait. Beanie is my clickbait. That's like a Skittles. Okay, so before I start, let me just talk about why I love Notion and what is Notion. So basically, everyone knows what Notion is. But to put it simply, it's a note-taking database tool that you can use to organize pretty much anything. My history with Notion is that I used it on and off because it was very complicated and it was really hard to use because in the past, it wasn't as developed, so it was really hard to use. Like, it loaded really slowly, so I would get really frustrated while using it. But now major improvements have been made, so it's really good now. It loads really fast even on mobile. The reason why I love using Notion is because my system for like doing things always changes and I always need to make minor adjustments to how I work, but unfortunately most apps just don't allow that for you. So it's really frustrating if something doesn't fit with your workflow and you want to change something. But with Notion, you literally build things from the ground up. I don't say, you know, my baby, I don't fucking god, it's just really ugly. So another reason is because Notion is really clean and simple and minimal. I've seen a lot of people like add a lot of GIFs and change the icons of Notion pages and add a lot of images to build how their pages look. But in my opinion, that just makes the loading much slower, so I don't really prefer making my whole page just images. That's the thing, like you can customize it to how you like it. Another thing is that as a note-taking tool, it has markdown, so I can type things really quickly. I really like to bold or italic fonts, like texts, when I type scripts so I can know what to emphasize. That's a really good way to input notes. I also really like using the 3 hashes to create different hierarchies of titles. So I'll mainly talk about my favorite pages on Notion that I use, because if I go into all the pages, it will be like 10 years long. So I'm just gonna share my favorite ways to use Notion for now. Why am I out of breath? So the first thing that I made is called Melodies, because I'm called Melody. So I wanted to make this whole brand called Mellow Days because I want every day to be just like peaceful and content and nice and just not very dramatic. That's how you can tell I'm getting old, because I usually would have been like, I love drama, but now I'm like, I just want to be not sad. Okay, so what it is basically, if you've heard of Linktree, you know what it is. It's basically a hub for everything that is about you. You put every link that is related to you in there. So put an introduction to yourself, some other things. But I saw this little Instagram/Notion blogger called Off Off On Off 2. They used Notion in this way, which I copied and learned from, and I thought it was really smart because Notion is just basically, you can share any page to the world and you can link it to anything and it's limitless and people can even comment on it. So it makes a really cool platform for you to put everything related to you. So here you can see my page. I turned off the full width so everything stays in the center and it's really clean. It has a little quote that defines my username, Mellow Tries, me trying, and I have my name and location and essentially who I am, and I also put my pronouns in gray. I linked this to my shop, which when you click into, you're just gonna be directed to my shop. And then here's a little toggle list that introduces who works at the Try Studio, which includes 3 of my dogs. And then here's my most recent video. How I did this is basically I opened YouTube. You can copy any link. So like for example, let's copy this link. Copy link. And then you go in here. You can just paste and then you can choose to embed the video, which will look like this. And then when people visit your page, they can just play it. Or you can do it as a bookmark, which I did here, because I feel like if people can like read more and then be redirected to the YouTube app they were using, it will be better, so they can like the video, they can add the video to a playlist or whatever. Okay, so under that we have a divider. Also, anything you want to add, you can just type slash and then you can just type it. Ta-da! So we have search Melotries, which is most of my social platforms username. And then we have 2 columns of my links. When you link to something, it turns into gray like here. So I just linked the emoji so that the text will be more readable. And how I did the left to right thing here, so when you type you can just do blah, 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 like then when you did another row you can just drag it to make it next to the thing, and you can do a lot of these. I don't know what's the limit, but I've tried 7. So, and then I put another divider after all my links. I have 4 pages of the things that I wanted to share with you guys. The first one is my playlist. I only have my Spotify playlist here right now, but I'm planning to also share the movies or shows that I liked, but my taste is pretty basic, so I don't know if you'll find my sharing useful or interesting. I don't think so, but I'll share anyways. And then we have my journal, which is my journal. When you look at it like this, it's pretty boring, but when you click into the gallery view, you can have some pictures that are in my journal. I like to share my day, so here's where I'll share my day. If it was an interesting day, like if something dramatic happened at the dog park, maybe I'll bitch on it on there. Bitch about it on there. And then the next one is my recent favorites, which I think you guys will find the most interesting. I have some categories here. I thought about making this a database, but I didn't because I didn't want to make it too complicated. So I put some headings on here. This is heading 3, and then I put a table of contents on the top. So if you guys just wanted to look at fonts, you can just click on fonts and you'll be navigated there. But I will try to not keep too many things here so it will be clean and nice to look at. But you guys can just come here and look at my recent favorite apps. And this is one of mine, which is an app essentially like Muda, but it's cuter, I think. And then I have a little emoji divider here, and then a Spotify here. And here's what I am the most excited for, because I saw this on the Off Off On Off 2 blogger. They had a visitor's book which you can like leave comments here, and then it's just like a wall where you can like stick your memos on to communicate with whoever visited this page. I don't think I have comments. Do I have comments on? I have comments on for only that page, so my page won't be as cluttered. Oh, I forgot to talk about my equipment page. So I have a list of the equipments that I use. I don't think I have everything on here, but I just got everything I had on the top of my mind, because sometimes you guys ask me and I can just redirect you to this page in case you're interested in more than one thing. Maybe I'll make this page prettier in the future because it's kind of looking ugly right now. So that's it for my Melodies page. The way that I'm using it is I copied the link for this Notion page, and then I put it to my Linktree top link, and then they have an option for you to redirect everyone who clicked on your Linktree link to another link automatically, and this is the another link. And this essentially just works as my Linktree now. And then the next thing that I wanted to share is my life page, which is my main page. So as you can see, it is a wide page. There's a lot of things on here, and let's get into it. So on the top, I have yet another quote, which is something that I try to remind myself of. And then on the left, we have some bulletin of what I need to do in the near future. All of them are links to the pages that I'm planning these projects in, which are just videos, so I can go back and refer. And then under that, I have a gallery view of my daily log, which I'll talk about later, but this is just a way that I can easily refer to my 1 day log. So my filter is date is today. And then here I have a simple to-do list, which I just included some simple to-do blocks here. Usually I will include work tasks here only, but sometimes I also put some personal tasks, but for personal tasks I usually use cintiq on my phone so I don't forget anything. But for work tasks, I will say I have a task called film Notion video. I will usually do film and then tag that page. So if I'm gonna film, I can just click on this and then I can have a look at the script, which is right here. So say I finish this, I check it off. I will then drag this entire block and put it into my work journal. And why I have this is because I wanted to have an archive of what I did every day, but I didn't want to make an entire database of tasks because I felt like that was a little bit overwhelming. I used to have a database of like all of my tasks, and I tag them for like which platform I'm publishing on, and then I categorize them by in progress, planning, finished, etc. But I felt like that was just a little bit too overwhelming, so I just have this checklist system going on right now. I have this filter which filters out everything that is not in the past week. So when I work, I can look at what I did in the past week. Also for the titles, I just do add today or yesterday, whatever date. So the date here will always be right and I don't have to like think about it too much. You know, I hate thinking. Thank you. The second half of this page called life is entertainment, because entertainment is a big part of my life. I have all these categories like manga, anime, animation, and I have a ton of tags on these things like genre, rating, and then like the reviews, and then the reviews, whatever. I also set the cover to show the poster of whatever that I'm watching. I don't know why this doesn't have it, but let's add it right now. And this is another thing that I really like, is that you don't have to download photos for the photos to show up in the pages. So for example, let's look for a Futurama poster. Let's have this one. Just copy the image address and then you can change the cover. Some websites don't allow you to use the links, but you can just look for a couple until it works. If you do this, it's just so much more recognizable. Yay! So that's that for entertainment. I'll get into that later. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk about is contents, which is pretty irrelevant if you're not like a content creator, but I usually just plan my YouTube videos and type my scripts in here. But back when I published a lot of content, like back when I still drew, I still had passion for drawing. I used to plan what I wanted to draw and what I wanted to do on here on every platform. Nowadays I only use the YouTube and the calendar views. The next page is entertainment that I briefly talked about, and this is the full page. I have all these grouped by status, and the subcategory that I'm grouping them by is by the medium. I have a lot of things that I want to track. I have a lot of things that I'm interested in, so that's why I have to keep track of everything. Also, I have a lot of thoughts that maybe I don't want to share on the internet, because like once you express an unpopular opinion, you will be cancelled. Not that I'm like sharing extreme kinds of opinions. Why am I digging this hole for myself? But I just like to express a lot of things that I would rather keep to myself. As an example here, I wanted to watch Kaguya-sama Love is War because it seems so fun. Here in this page, I have all these tags like medium, platform, progress, rating, genre, date added, and last edited. I added this because I wanted to sort my database by the time that I was watching it. So if I added something to my review, it would show up on top, you know. Hello, stop fighting, start loving. 阿比嚟嘅原來，阿比唱潘把聲。And then after this, we have my daily log. I have a lot of fields here, like for example, today I ate. Stop fighting! Stop fighting! For example, I ate this thing, so I'll type it here so it shows up on my view. You are not, you're crazy. And then I also went on a walk today already, so I'll check that. And today's weather is sunny. And then maybe I'll also add an icon for how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling goofy. So here I will type my diary, and here's a really cool thing that I think Notion has improved on. It is backlinks. So for example, I'm gonna say I went on a walk with my sister today, but this is kind of like, it's just buried here, and it's like it doesn't give you a lot of information. So I would like to add some tags on here, but this database tags kind of only works within this database, you know, like that's the point of the database, but I don't want that. Let's say at sister, and you can see here I have sister in inventory. I will tag that, and then you can see sister is tagged, and this essentially is my entire tagging system across my Notion, because it links to a database called inventory. Here you can see in my daily logs I linked to my sister these amount of times, and then I can just see her category is family / people. But in inventory I have a lot of other categories like apps, whatever. So for example, Motion VFX, it's an app, it's a brand. Clip Studio Paint, it's an app. Canon, it's tech. I will categorize anything that I wanted to mention in any of my Notion pages that I think I would want to cross-reference across the entire app. So then when I click into either of them, I can know that when I linked about them. Was that clear? So hope you guys had a good understanding of how I use Notion, and I hope you guys also visit my melodies page, and I hope to see you guys in my visitors book soon. And I also hope Notion will sponsor me soon. Soon. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Running out of battery.